Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Wax So Live today. Today, it's a little bit earlier than normal because I have an appointment this afternoon, but I didn't want to miss going live and hanging out with you guys. So let me know how you're doing today. Let me know what you have been up to. Today, what I want to do is make some fall sills, but pour and scrape sills. And we're also going to be using our spoon and warmer. Um, so I have a new fall tutorial, YouTube tutorial that's coming out next Tuesday. And these are some of the leftover colors from it. And so I thought it would be ideal just to remelt them and we'll use them as our base for our pour and scrape sills. So I have a few, these are my most fall sills. This one is in the shop right now. It's a maple leaf. This pumpkin will be restocked. The fall collection's coming in like a week and a half. So it'll be here so soon, but I still want to do some fall stills. So grab some that you have that are already fall. If not, you can grab some. I grabbed a few that are not necessarily fall, but maybe with the matching colors, they'll kind of look fall-ish. So let me come in over here and see who's joining us today. We've got kind of a different time today, so maybe we'll get some different people. Kimmy's here, welcome, and Mary, and Teresa, Crystal, welcome. Catherine's here. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining. So let me show you the supplies I have really quick. I have my stamps, of course, and handles. And I have my candle warmer with 2 scrapers. The stamp here is just holding them in place. I have some waxes here that I'm going to use to remelt in my spoon and warmer. Cool spatula, parchment paper, marble pad, and then I've got some low temp glue gun. So I have white today as that's going to be the color that will be the design, I think. And then I also have gold in case this wax doesn't make enough. So that's kind of what I have. I also have a lighter and some scissors and paper towels. So I'm super excited to do this today. I don't use the spoon a ton. Let me know in the comments if you like the spoon and warmer method. So you like to melt your wax with a little warmer and a spoon, or if you prefer the glue gun. I definitely prefer the glue gun. That is my preference. But the spoon, one of the benefits is it marbles beautifully as the wax just melts. And so that's what we're going to try to do, is get some really pretty marbling happening. So we're going to start with the maple leaf and the pumpkin, and the other ones I just grabbed we'll use as needed. But we're going to start with these 2 so we get some fall like ones. And I'm realizing I don't have a ton of like orange waxes at the moment. I have some like bright oranges, but not deep oranges. And so I might do a video on how to mix that if you also don't have that. But these fall ones are kind of more like neutral / pinky purplies, which I think will be really pretty. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it was starting to like smoke a little bit. I can't see it on the camera, but I'm just starting to get some soot here. That happens most when the flame actually touches the metal. I may have a little bit of wax on the bottom as well, but I have this flat wax that I was using that I need to recut so it gets a little bit smaller. And when I'm using the spoon, it's going to get messy. It always does, but I try to keep everything inside the spoon so it's not going as much on the outside. Let me grab some of this gold. It's melting so fast because these are such little thin layers of wax. So I need to get more in here. This one's a little thicker. Okay, did we put purple in? Let's put some purples in. I don't really know how this is going to come out marbling wise. I know you want contrast. White is also our base color, like for the engraving of the design. So we'll kind of see how this goes. I do have a few things like this that are just from the glue gun are great to just plop them back in and remelt. Got some cream. I don't think I'll use the white because I'm using white as my base. But it's like all these little bits and pieces. That's one of the best part about seal making is that it's all reusable. Um, so if you don't love it, you can just remelt it and it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm getting close to the point where I feel like I'm getting kind of a full spoon. I'm like maybe a little bit more of this one at the top. And we'll see how this marbles. There. Okay, so that's melting, that's going, and we used a big chunk. And so it's always, I feel like in so many of my videos, I always end up with these, and then I don't often show you the remelting. And so I think it's good to do that. Something that happened, I got some wax on the side and already on the side of the spoon. So I'm just going to clean that off just to try to keep this clean. And then also sometimes I feel like the wax will kind of, if it's sitting in the wrong spot, will kind of like smoke, and I don't want that. Okay. I see we have spoon any day for Marilyn. I use both for Mary. Spoon and electric warmer. I do have an electric warmer. I need to find my spoon. It's somewhere. If I have abundant time, I enjoy the spoon, but the glue gun is so much simpler for cleanup. Yes, I'm with you on that. When I use a new candle, I trim the wick just a bit so it doesn't burn the spoon. That's a great tip, Erin. So if none of you have done that before, what she's saying is you can just trim a little bit of the wick when it's brand new so that the flame won't actually touch the metal on your spoon, and that will help you avoid the soot. So that's an awesome tip. I rarely use one color of wax at a time, so the spoon is for me. And that's the other great benefit of the spoon is that it really, you can change colors quickly. Where with a glue gun, we're like stuck with, 10 to 12 sills. With this, we can make a pink sill and then we can clean it and make blue. I'm going to turn these waxes back on and just show you over here. So that's almost a really great temperature. I'm turning them back on, so it should be warm by the time my stamp is warm. This is warming up, but I do want to keep my eye on it. I don't want to really stir it because it seems, but I did bring my toothpicks. So, because sometimes like in this situation, it's like the bottom, you see how easy it's sliding? The wax on the very bottom is like melted, but we still have this chunk. So you can kind of push that in, but once you start stirring it, then for me at least, I feel like I lose the natural marbling that's happening as it's melting. And I can see that it's already getting pretty warm. I can see a few bubbles. I'm going to leave it for now. And when we're doing the cold scrape is when I'll make sure to take it off so I have a good temperature for my pour. But I'm going to just slide that over. Let's try pumpkin first. I've never done pour and scrape with this one, but I think it will be fun. And I'm like, now I want to do it with orange and green too. Okay, so I'm just going to stick it on this candle warmer. People have asked if you could use like a mug or coffee warmer. I think that's what they're called. And I think you probably could if it's flat. I don't know why not. And we just want this to be warm. We don't want it so hot that this wax is never going to come out, but we also don't want it so cool that once we pour the wax on it, it won't come off. So this is feeling great. That's a nice, nice temperature. So I'm going to pour my white wax onto the parchment paper. And I'm also simultaneously grabbing my paper towel because I forgot to grab that. And I'm going to do a press and a swipe, grab a hot spatula, and I'm going to do a scrape. And having the hot spatula helps a lot because that white wax was already almost cooled. But because the spatula is nice and hot, it got it off pretty well. So you can see that's going good. I'm going to put this one back. And I'm just remembering now, maybe it was the one I just used. It was. Can you see how there's a little bit of pink? There was pink on my spatula, and it turned out okay. It didn't get in here, I don't think. But if it was a darker color like black, it would have made a mess. So reminder to make sure your stuff is clean before you just dive in and use it, because I did not check and it had wax on it still. So we do the hot for a little while till we're feeling pretty good about it. And then keep those spatulas back on the warmer. And from here, let's check this wax. It's pretty warm and lots of bubbles. And so I'm going to leave it still. So I want to get the edge off. And then I'm going to take a cool spatula and start scraping. So I guess it wasn't that much time. But so what I want to do here first is, you see how there's like a bajillion little bubbles at the top? I'm just going to see if I can try to pop those. That also creates kind of a fun effect when the bubbles pop in the wax. And then the other thing that I'm going to do really quick, I'm going to do it on this paper towel, is I'm just going to make sure I don't have soot on the bottom. And it looks like I actually didn't. So just want to make sure there's no soot, and then I'm just going to set it down. And it should be a really great temperature in just a second once I'm done scraping this. So we'll go in and do the cold scrape. If you're new to this technique, I have I've done this in a few lives. I have a few YouTube tutorials on it. This one was developed by Catherine Hastings, and the other person who's really amazing at it that I've learned from is Rita from Strictly Rita. And so both of them do this technique and do an awesome job. And I know a lot of you probably do this technique and do an awesome job too. And it's very fun. It's definitely something that takes some practice. This has been my goal of the year, was to get this down. And I feel like I'm finally in like a good place. So it takes a little time to practice, but once you figure it out, it's so much fun. So I definitely want you to try it. If you have been seeing it and you haven't tried it yet, I want you to try it because I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to pour on the marble pad because it's going to help the wax hold its shape and cool the wax as I pour. And so I think I can bring you just a tiny bit closer. Hold on. Sorry for that. Okay. I'm nervous to pour out of a spoon. I don't pour out of a spoon very often. All right, let's see how this comes out because we've got a lot of colors going on here. And we'll see if it is too many colors without enough contrast. Just wanted to pop a few bubbles there. But you can see we've got some marbling happening, but we won't be able to see the part we pressed until it cools. So what I'm going to do is, with my spoon, I had set it down on my paper towel, but the edge has wax on it where I poured. So I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to keep this back on my warmer right here. So I'm just going to keep that there, and I'm okay with it getting a little warm while I'm getting my next stamp ready. And I'm like, I think we'll do one more. I kind of want to put a lighter color in there, but maybe I will do that. Let's do it. I think I need a little more contrast because with the gold and that kind of neutral and that dark pink, I feel like we're just getting browns. So I'm going to take this really light pink, a few of these, and we'll see if I can strategically place them to melt in the wax. The other thing I've noticed is that it does take, like with the spoon, I don't know if you guys have tips on this, but like as the flame burns and the wax pools, it feels like the flame is lower, and so it's heating less and it takes longer for the wax to melt. I think that's just normal. I don't know. You see what I mean? Like it's just the flame isn't quite as high. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to see if I can put some of these in, but get some to the bottom to melt. I just don't wanna mix it too much, but I'm like, I need a little more contrast, I think. We'll see. Okay, we'll let that go and see if that works. Let's try our maple leaf. So this one is in the shop right now. This was actually the stamp that was in last year's fall lettering box. And so it's one of my favorites. Oh, and I got to check my white wax. It's a little on the hot side. Okay, I need to go a little bit more. When I normally count, it seems it's like 10 to 12 seconds is how long, counting like 1, 2, 3. So that's maybe a little less than, I want just like 2 more seconds. 1, 2. Okay, that feels pretty good. Okay, so we've got this. And then I'm going to take my white wax and pour and press and pull. Take my spatula and scrape it off. At this point, if you ever have like parts of it that didn't get the wax, you can re-pour the wax here, or you can do it again where you pour the wax here and scrape. Yeah, I just don't have a lot of like fall colors at the moment. I'm getting a restock again in the next couple weeks. So those colors will be back in stock, but I've also been thinking like I should figure out how to do some color theory and how to mix the colors, just based on the colors that you have, because I think you could get some really pretty colors just by mixing. Okay, so if we take a look at this, this is still warming. I'm going to bring it a little closer. Still melting. Sorry if I'm making you sick as I'm moving that. I'm going to try to push those down a little bit more. Just really get in there. So now we've got more pink and gold going on, but the underneath had more of that other color. But hopefully this will help with the contrast. It totally reminds me of those, remember those candies? What are they called? Cream savers. It like reminds me of candies or chocolates or something. So that's almost melted. We can do our cool scrape now. The point of this one is to get all those little bits of residue that's on the brass off. So we only want the white wax in the engraving. Everywhere else, we want it just no wax, or the least amount of like layer of wax that we can get. And you can see, let's check this out. Okay, so this will happen. This happens to me all the time, actually. So I'll be scraping it in this part, and I can see that I scraped some of my wax up. So now it's not fully in there. So I can decide I'm okay with it and I don't care and not worry about it, or I can decide I'm going to try to do a little bit more right there. And I would go back to hot and just try to make sure that little spot is filled in. So now it's filled in again, but now I've got this white residue back on the brass that I need to get off. So I go back to my cold, and I just did it again. I love when this happens. So that came out. Maybe we could make that one gold. My gold is warm. Should we try it? But I'm worried that the gold will blend in with the wax we already have. Let's try it anyway. We're experimenting. Okay, so that whole thing came out. So Sorry, I'm going to bring you guys up again because I feel like I keep leaving you out of what I'm doing. And it's not okay. So let's look at this. So this just keeps popping out, and I think why is because now that I've been scraping it for a while, the stamp itself isn't as warm. So it's not as warm. I'm gonna go one more time, and if I don't get it, then we'll probably just take the circle part out and won't worry about it. But we'll see if we can. And I'm gonna try a hotter spatula, switch spatulas. All right. This happened to you guys before? So yeah, it's just coming out. So this is what happens if your metal isn't hot enough, it'll just peel out. It's not gonna stick. So here's what we could do. How do we salvage this? We can, if it's cool enough, we can just try to pop it out, which it looks like it will work. So then it just came out, and we could probably just restart. And I think that's what I'll do. If you're decided like, actually, I'm done with this stamp, I don't want to do it, you can either press it into more wax to get all of this off, or you can put it back on your candle warmer, let it get really hot, and then you just clean off any excess wax and then put it, and then you're done. So, but for me, I'm like, I think we got to get this one because it's the maple leaf and we're doing fall sills. So let's put it back on. I'm going to check that my wax is warm. I just plugged it back in, and let's test this again. I'm just going to go just a minute more. Okay. Then I'm going to move that gold out of the way. And we might actually get a little bit of residue of gold in this white since I had done it. I would say I might have gotten my metal a little warm. You see how like easily it came off? It's like you want it to come off easily, but not like super, super easily. Okay, we'll clean the sides up. I'm going to check this, and I can see there's bubbles on the top again, so I'm going to pop these. Pop, pop, pop. And I'm going to let this cool. I can tell this is hot, and I'm also going to slide over. This is all metal, so even this part down here can get a little hot, so just always be careful. Just going to move that over with this little wood handle, and I'm just going to leave this spoon right here to let that kind of chill for a second. Okay, I'm like, I want to be so careful because I don't want this to come up again. But we still need to get the wax off, so. Okay, I think I'm probably good. And then the last part is I always just kind of wipe it off with the paper towel to get off any excess. And then I'm ready now to press it into my second color. One of the things that's coming with the fall collection is a bead set. Well, actually, it's not a bead set like this. It's going to be in the boxes, but all the colors in it are like perfect fall colors. So I'm so excited for it to come. I want to take this one off before I start that one. And so I don't know if this is right or wrong. I'll try to just tug at it a little bit. And usually if it's cool enough, it will just pop off. If it doesn't come off like that, then you can use your cold spatula to get underneath it and pop it up. And then I'm going to come check the comments because I haven't been looking at them. Let's see. It's feeling a little tight, but it's coming. So just work your way around and look how cute. Okay. So, I mean, they're fall-ish. They're like purplies and golds. It's not like super, super fall colors. We're gonna do more with fall colors as soon as I have them. But I do love the way the gold looks. Let's pour this one really quick and then we'll look some more. I love the way that it marbles. Like, it's so pretty in the spoon how you'll get this really beautiful marbling, and you just can't quite get that in a glue gun. It just is not the same. But I do want to look at this one more time. So yeah, I think for contrast purposes, we've got a lot of mixing because it's like that the purpley and the nude color are kind of the same tone. I do love the gold though, how we've got these little bits of metallic. Let me know what you think. It's fall because there's a pumpkin on it, right? And I feel like the colors in the other sale that I'll show on Tuesday, they definitely look like fall with these colors, but I think it's cute. Okay, let me check these comments. Terry's here. Welcome, Terry. Have you ever had trouble with certain wax not really melting? I have certain colors that end up really grainy. I haven't had that experience where they end up grainy, but I've had some where they just melt super fast and they're super runny. Specifically, there were these heart-shaped ones that were like a navy and a dark red, and it was those two colors that were super runny for me. So I'm not exactly sure why. I feel like from wax sticks from my shop to other places I've gotten them, it seems like wax sticks are you're gonna get a more like the results kind of the same regardless of where the sticks are from most of the time in my experience. Where beads, I've found a lot more variation in like the consistency of the wax as it melts. You're saying the graininess. I've had like really thin and runny. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see if other people have had that happen. Okay, just got here. Is that pumpkin stamp in the fall collection? Yes, it is. The fall collection is about a week and a half away. And I'm so excited. There's so many fun fall things. So I've got a fall collection. I have a Halloween collection. And normally I do that one very baby size. But this year I was like, we're just going big for Halloween too. So a fall and Halloween collection and a website restock all within like the next 2 weeks. So everything will be back that's missing as well. Okay, let's try a few more. This one, you can see as it's sitting, it's cooling. And I do want to get, there's a tiny bit on the bottom, so I'm just going to wipe that off. And at this point, I'm like, maybe I will add a little bit more of the gold back in. I think I'll do this thin gold because it melts really quickly, and that's kind of nice. Let me know what you guys are up to today. Thursday, I'm going to physical therapy after this. That's why I had to move the time. But it's we're switching insurances on the 1st, so it's like I need to go one more time before, because I don't know if my insurance will cover it anymore. But I hurt my knee back in March, and it's finally almost all the way better. Not all the way, but like 90% there, which is very exciting. I'm going to put a little bit more of the pink in, this light pink. It's very similar to the beads that I had put in, but I think this will just be nice because it's thin. Whoops. I'm making such a mess with this wax, you guys. I'm getting it all over the place. That is part of it, I think. I'm just going to try to clean the edges a little bit. Okay, so that's going to melt again. And my temptation is always like, I want to see what this is. I want to pull it off right away. But I but you shouldn't, because that's always when I mess it up, when I'm too excited and I don't let it fully cool. So it's like better to let it wait. We can get this one ready and then pull it. Even though I'm like, I want to see how that one turned out. I wanted to do this one because I can't remember when this was, but I did recently. What still was it? It was some stamp, but there wasn't a flat surface. Oh, it was lemons. It was the citrus sills. And this one's very similar where there's not a lot of flat surface. So I'm just curious how this one will go. So I thought we could try it together in case you want to try this, a type of sill like this at home. We can kind of see what it does and how it works. Okay. But order fast. Whenever I had to wait till payday, the ones I've wanted were always sold out. Yes, I'm trying to order higher quantities too, as more people are buying from the shop. And so I don't want it to sell out. I would rather everyone gets one, So I'm trying to order. So I did order more quantities of both the fall and Halloween. So hopefully there will be enough for everyone. Will the wax sticks be restocked too? Yes. All the wax colors are getting restocked as well. Plus just like the stamps that are always on the website. Like for example, this one is always there. This one is always there. Kind of the stamps that work for all year round will be restocked as well. Welcome, Nora. I'm glad you're here. So this one, the other thing I noticed when I did the citrus sill, and this one as well, because there's not a huge flat surface, it's not heating up as much because there's just not that much metal that's actually touching the surface. So it is taking a little bit longer to get it fully like warm, where I feel like it's a good place to do it. And speaking of, I didn't check my wax. Okay, I just plugged it back in, but that's a great consistency for pressing, but it is not, I want it a little bit warmer for this. I don't want this one much warmer, but I want my white wax a tiny bit warmer. We'll stall just a second. So much of it is temperature, I feel like. I'm going to move that one and put a new one out. So it's still feeling pretty warm. I'm going to do a couple more seconds, and then I think my wax will be ready. Yes. Okay. So we'll pour this one. This one will be interesting to see. Okay. So I think this is, we'll have to see how this goes, because I'm like, I don't think I can scrape any more off, but maybe little bits where it's like thin white will kind of peek through. I don't know. Or maybe it will just look like a whole tile. I saw a sill the other day that it wasn't this stamp, but similar, a square, and looked like a tile, and then it was just white pressed into blue, and it just looked so pretty. And I was like, I want to make those. So we'll get our version of that today. Okay, this one is good. I'm not even going to do the cold scrape. Maybe I can, but I just don't think I need to. I'm going to do the edges. Whoops. It kind of got untwisted on me. So go around the edges and get that kind of cleaned up. Let's try it. Okay, this wax is warmed. I'm going to make sure I don't have any soot on the bottom. And I'm just going to pop these little bubbles. I'd rather pop them now than later. And then I'm just going to set that down for just a second while we get this one ready. I'm not in a huge rush because this is still pretty warm, that I'm not concerned about it. I wouldn't let this fully cool because then I don't know if the wax will actually come out. We still want it slightly warm when we do the final press. So this one, yep, it pops off. You wait and it will just pop off. It's always when I rush it, it doesn't turn out as well. And we'll pull this around. Let's see if it worked. Woo. Okay. So contrast is not as good from the white to this, but it's still there. And we do have one big bubble here. You guys see that? And then a little bit on the edges of the leaf. Overall, I would 100% use this, and I don't care about that bubble. Obviously, it would be ideal if it was perfect, but I still love it. I think it's so cute. I think this one had more gold, so the contrast is a little bit better, but I still think it's really pretty. Let's try, so this one, really quick, can you see how there's like residue on it now? I'm just gonna put it on the warmer and get it nice and hot, and then we'll clean it, and that should, that one I'm gonna be done with right now. I wouldn't do that until you're like done. So let's try this one. I think having the larger amounts of gold in there helps. And then we press. That was kind of a lot of wax. I would say that's too much, but that's okay. It's still cute. It's still gonna be cute. And I'm gonna check. It's hard to tell the bubbles on the marble because it just looks like little and metallic waxes. But then when the bubbles pop, I don't know if you guys can see this. You see how it made these really pretty like circles? That's something that's like so pretty with marbling. So let's do another leaf and try to get more contrast behind it. Okay. Does your warmer get a lot of residue? How do you clean that? That's a great question. Let's clean it right now. So, yes, it does. And I try, what helps, I think, is after you pour, clean your spoon. So instead of, there's always wax on your spoon after you pour. If you just set it right back on your warmer, you're getting all that wax on the warmer again. So I always set it to the side. I set it here. So all the wax went there, and then I cleaned off my spoon. So now my spoon is clean. But the trick with this is it's hot right now. So you just want to be careful. Don't actually touch the metal, but you do want it hot when you're cleaning it so that the wax will come off. If the wax is cooled, you can't wipe it off. So when it's warm, maybe right before you're done even, doesn't have to be during, you can clean it all off. And especially with this one, it's like it's not going to be perfectly, you can still see there's stuff on it, but I'm not too, like, I don't need it perfectly clean for me anyway. And then you can see the bottom has some soot. We can see if we can get some of that off. But some of it also might just be, that section came off good. Some of it might kind of just be stuck on there. Like, I'll show you the bottom of the spoon at the end, but the bottom of my spoon is just has black stained on it from the soot so often. So that's how you can clean it off. The wax is going to come off best if it's hot. If it's cool, you're not going to be able to clean it, but it looks a lot better. And I think just cleaning your spoon as you go also helps a ton with that. Was that sill still warm? This one? Which one, Catherine? Oh, or this one. This one was still hot. It's still hot now as I'm touching it. So you don't want it to get all the way cool. But it's okay if you wait a few minutes while you're getting your stuff ready before you press it. So let's get a little bit more wax in here. I do have black. Should we throw some black in? We would not need a lot of black because it's such a dark color. But maybe we'll see if that adds to I'm like, I just want tiny little bits of black. Black is such a strong color that you really don't need a lot of it. Let's see. I want some more of the pink as well to balance it out. Something that you can do too, this is something my friend Heather from Beeswax, Texas told me once, was like making a recipe with your wax beads. So you can be like, okay, if I do this amount of this color and this amount of this color, then you end up with this result. But she would kind of track what she was putting in so then she could duplicate it, which I think is a really fun idea. Okay, so that's kind of filled up now. Catherine asked, yes, the square one. Yes, it was still warm. So it's not totally cooled before I pressed it in. But right now it's cooling down, but I don't want to take it off because that's when it's going to get stuck. I have so much trouble with square stamps, either too much wax or it doesn't get centered on, so one side has a bulge, or not enough wax so the corners get left out of wax. I, Lena, have the same issue. Yes, they're kind of tricky because this one is a good example of too much. It's like you kind of want just barely enough. But yeah, I think it's just practice. I would not say I don't use square that often, and maybe that's partially why. Like if you're using mostly circle, you're used to pouring that shape more. Residue on the electric warmer where you warm up the spatulas. Oh yeah, let's do that one too while we're waiting for our wax to melt. I'm going to check my white is plenty warm, so I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so let me clean up this wax. Put it back in my little bag. And then I'll show you this. Okay, so that's a great question. So you're also gonna, as we're doing this process, you're gonna get wax bits on this as well, which we don't want. It's not that big of a deal with the colors we're working with today. It's not too big of a deal. There's some like gold right here. But you don't really want wax of other colors getting where it's not supposed to be. So the first thing, this was the stamp that we needed that had residue on it, and we were just heating it up for a long time. It's very, whoops, it's very hot, but now you can see all that residue is gone, but it's burning hot. So you can't use this right away. You just need to let it cool down, but that's how you would clean that. Spatula, you can see it gets, you can just clean that off and clean off your other spatula. So that one's clean now. Clean off the one that's holding it. You can see it's got like all this just wax residue on it. And I was just going to say, it's not, I don't think it's happening with this one, but my electric warmer will get hot on the bottom even. And so don't set it on to wax. And then you just take a paper towel and kind of clean it off. The one thing I'll say, I did this, it was navy blue wax that took a while to get off, and it kept showing up in seals for a while, but it finally did come off. So I think this wax is done now. I'm going to set that to the side for a second. It's very hot. Let's do another one. Let's see. I have another leaf stamp. I kind of want to make another leaf. This one was the one that's burning hot, so I don't want to touch it. Just set that over there, but I do want my handle. Or should we do a pumpkin again? I really like the pumpkin. This pumpkin would be a great one to do multiple colors with because you could easily get the top in green and the bottom in orange. And so definitely want to do that soon. Here's how this is coming out. I'm gonna pop those. And I think I'm gonna just set it on for just a hair more while we do this one. So let's do our pumpkin again. We'll set it on. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one already feels pretty warm, probably because our warmer is so hot now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so like 10 seconds is plenty warm on this one. And then I was gonna say let's do it in gold, but I did put a lot of gold in there. I don't think it will stand out. So pour some white wax, press and pull, hot spatula to scrape it off. And then grab another hot spatula. And I can see this is like getting pretty hot, so I'm gonna just move that off of the candle so it can cool down. And I can see there's a tiny, on the little edge of the vine, there's a little spot without wax, so I want to add that. And I'm going to try to press it down in and scrape it. It seems in the tests and the practice we've done before, it seems when you pour on top, you end up with more air bubbles. So that's why when I did it, I want to press it down in. So hopefully I don't have an air bubble in. Once we press it in the final and take it out, we'll be able to see if it did or not. So I always like to just get the edge. And I'm just going to clean the edge all the way. And then take my cold spatula and we'll scrape again. Let me know if you've attended one of my workshops before. I'm planning a fall Halloween workshop. I'm planning to have that available next week, so I'm still just ironing out the details. But I think that's going to be really fun. And I kind of have been planning the whole rest of the year. So there's the fall workshop that's coming up. I'm going to do a Christmas, like, holiday one in November. And then I also do something, if you're just new and you've just barely started following me recently, or just recently found me, the last 2 years I've done something called the 12 days of wax sills. So the first 12 days in December, I do a different wax sill technique. Not just a technique, but like this is how to use a wax sill in a fun holiday way. But anyway, I was thinking of kind of making it like a free workshop so they would be lives. So I would love to know what you think. The 12 days of Christmas, if that one should be like live classes like this for the 12 days. In the past, I've just made them like YouTube videos, so you just go watch the video. But I think it could be fun to make it live and do like giveaways and just, I don't know, make it fun. Okay, this one's good. It's still very warm, so I'm not in a huge rush. I need to take this out. I need to also check this is looking like I can put it back on the warmer while I'm getting the square off. Okay, so this one I'm pulling and it's not coming. I'm going to try from one other angle. Okay, and it did. But if you start pulling too much, I've snapped handles before, just where the screw goes into the wood, it will snap. So if it's not coming, then that's when you want to use the spatula to get it off. I don't love doing that because then it scrapes up the bottom, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because no one sees the bottom anyway. Oh my gosh, I love it. So even though we didn't fully scrape it, those little areas where the white wax was so thin, you can kind of still see through a little bit to the darker color. But I think that turned out really pretty. And the gold on the marbling is so fun. I love that. Okay, let's try this one. This one has the black in it. Hopefully the black doesn't overpower it, but might. Let's see. And then we're going to press. I guess I'm just not very used to marbling more than like 2 colors. I usually marble like white and black, red and white, like 2 colors and that's it. And so mixing of multiple colors, I still feel like I'm learning because the biggest thing with marbling to be able to see it is you need contrast. And I don't feel like with these, there is enough contrast. These 2 turned out a little bit better, but it's like they're kind of all in the same kind of tone. So I don't know. I think it needs to be a little bit more contrast in the colors. So then my spoon, you can see the bottom, it's turning into kind of a brown puddle mix, like a bunch of colors. Okay, let me see. The live workshops are great. I would love for the 12 days if they were lives. Awesome. Live is fun, but 12 days would be tricky. They're also recorded to watch later. That would be great. Yeah, so that's the thing. They would be it would be live, but yeah, it would also be recorded and then just posted because I know a lot of people wouldn't even be able to attend the lives at all. So yeah, there definitely would be a recording afterward. And I'm thinking making it free because it already has been free always, but it's just been like what I'm posting. So I think making it more like free, but more community feeling. I don't know. I need to figure it out, but I think it would be really fun. I love the square and rectangle stamps, but they're so different and definitely tricky to do. Yeah, I think so too. They take a little bit more practice. I'm excited for the fall Halloween workshop. Would the fall one include the use of whatever the October sill box contains? Um, Let me think about that. No, because the workshop is going to happen before the fall. Where'd my wax go? Like this fall Halloween workshop is going to happen before that October box comes out. So it wouldn't be at the same time. Live is great, but I agree that if you taped it just in case we can't get to them all. Yeah, that's great. Great to know. Yeah, I think I just think it would be fun. I'm trying to think like what other things I think doing some giveaways as part of it, or I don't know, would make it fun to like a little more community based. Or like kind of like a challenge even, like that it's not just me making the sills, but it's like you guys get to share what you're making too, type of thing. I don't know. I'm still planning it. But anyway, there's going to be 3. So there's going to be the fall and Halloween and fall. There's going to be a Christmas one in November. It's kind of like pre-Christmas. And then there will be the one that's for the 12 days. So actually in December. And sometimes I know December is such a busy holiday, so it might be like maybe you're not actually using those ideas for your sills, um, but you're saving those ideas for the future. You know what I mean? Because sometimes things get busy in December. I'm just going to do one more, I think. I kind of want to do the leaf again, but we could also try a different. Let me know what you think. I do have a leaf. Did we just do the leaf? No, we just did the pumpkin. I thought I had one more leaf stamp. Oh, I do. So I have these 2 leaf flowers, or I have like these kind of grassy ones. Let me know which one you think for our last one. The other thing that's fun about like marbling is, of course, like these are the colors I'm using, but like you can do this exact same technique with any colors. So any colors you have that you need to reuse, or just any colors that you want to start from scratch and mix can be the background. And so then it can change to feeling like fall, and then you change out what the stamp is, like this one can be like match the fall colors, but then maybe you do it in pinks and reds and it looks like Valentine's. So you can definitely change things out to see. Another leaf, please. All right, leaf with the ring. Yeah, this one was a little tricky. I think it was a combination. I think it was this stamp wasn't hot enough when I was scraping, and I scraped so many times that it just didn't get warm enough. So I'm gonna check here. Whoops, that would not be good. So this white wax, if you see up here on the side, see how it's like barely coming out? It's not warm enough. So I've got that plugged back in. And so I'm gonna wait a second because that's gonna take just a minute, and then we can do this one. We can check if this is ready. That's the back side. Okay. Okay, so for this, I love the bubbles, but I do feel like we're just getting into grays. Like there's subtle marbling, but it's not super obvious. So, still think it's cute, but I think I like these two the best so far. They have bigger like swashes of gold. I think those ones look better than when it's like really mixed together. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, so let's put this, or sorry, we're not doing another pumpkin. We're doing a leaf. So let's put this back on the warmer and we'll heat that up. And we need to do a little bit more. But yeah, I'm getting really excited about fall. It doesn't feel like fall yet though. Actually, the last few days it's been kind of rainy, so it has felt like fall. But today it's back to hot again. And so it's like, it actually doesn't feel very much like fall here yet. It's like you can't wear a sweater yet or a jacket. It's just burning hot. Okay, I need a little paper towel. Okay, so we can see some already came up. I'm going to do it one more time, the whole thing. I'm just going to pour right over this one. And I'm going to see, yeah, get a better scrape. So I think it's not all like ruined and lost if you have to do it more than once. So I think don't give up if you're like, oh, I need to put more wax on and scrape again. Like, I think you can go a few times. And I'm going to try to work a little bit quickly. And get the edges cleaned. And then I'm going to check this because I'm about to do my cold scrape. I'm going to pop the little bubbles in the top. And I think I'm going to pull it off and let it sit so it can kind of cool just a little bit. And then I'm going to do this, and I'm like, I hope I don't pull it up again. Try to be gentle, but still scrape off the wax. So this week's, I'm trying to get better at doing my YouTube tutorials every Tuesday. So the one coming up is really cute, and it's like fall leaves. It's kind of the theme. That one worked out better, I feel like. But then the week after that, I still need to finish the sill. So it's like, I really hope I can pull this off, but I think it's there. It's going to be a witch sill. You don't need anything but a blank stamp. Anyway, it's really cute and fun. So I'll share that one next. Well, it'll be in 2 weeks. It'll be the YouTube tutorial. So this thing is here and it's like stuck. I'm like, can I get this off? There we go. Okay. Then let's pour this. I think that one's going to be better contrast. Oh yeah. See, I love watching it. You can see like the circles kind of developing. I love that when it does that. I think it also does that when it's hot. So I'm going to let that cool for a little bit. The other thing that I can do, I'm not going to make another pour and scrape, but I have enough here for another sill. I'm like, maybe I could try to do this one on the edge and just pour out as much of this wax as I can so I can use it all. And then pop the bubbles around. Okay, so let's talk about cleaning the spoon. Let's see. It would be beautiful to add the gold powder to just the stem from Crystal. Are you talking about the pumpkin? Is that what you mean, just on the stem? I think that would be cute as well. It could be cute to add gold just to the ring of that leaf too. Excited about the Halloween workshop. Definitely will watch the 12 days, whether on YouTube or as a workshop. Awesome. I love it. Cooler in Michigan. I'm so happy for you. It's in the 90s here. Yeah, I'm the same. Will you be restocking the 50 millimeter blank? Yes, actually, I believe it is restocked as of this morning. That was one that arrived yesterday. Let me just double check for you. Yes, it is in stock. Let me send you that link. So this stamp is great for large pressed flower sills, and it's really fun for ornament sills. At Christmas time, I will be using it then, but I just added that link. So that was restocked, and then the other thing that came, I'll tell you in just a second. So to clean a spoon, we're just going to grab the wax out. And as you can see, it's not like all the way coming out. There's like a little bit of residue. I'm going to see if I can get it all. There's like little bits of residue, so I can just put it back on my candle warmer just for a second. And then that should heat it up and be able to clean it. But the other thing that arrived yesterday is the stamp for the October box. And it is so, so cute. I can't wait to show it to you. So that one has arrived. So we're getting that one packaged in the boxes. But that one, I knew it was coming, but I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting it yesterday. I was expecting it like the end of the week. So we heated it up just a little more, and then it's so easy to get it nice and clean once it's all the way heated up. So there's that one, or that's how you clean your spoon. So basically cleaning all the stuff in the wax, as long as the tools are hot still, the wax should come off really easily and shouldn't really be an issue. I do want to see if we can get these ones off if they're cooled in time. This one for sure I think will be, sometimes you can just pull up and it will come off, but we can also just use this to go underneath. The only problem is then you do kind of, at least for me, I always nick the back, which isn't really a problem because no one sees it, but I don't know. I don't love it. So there's that one. This one's very much like grayed out, browned, mixed, because it was the bottom of the spoon. All the colors have just kind of mixed together. It's very subtle marbling. It's still pretty. I still like the tones. This one, let's see if we can get it off. I was going to blow my candle out really quick. Oh, it did come out. Okay. I can't remember. Was this the spot that I refilled? It might have been. You guys see there's a little divot there. So I think what I would try on my next round with this one is really when I pour the white wax and then I press it, really press it in hard and scrape it to hopefully get all the wax up into the engraving. But otherwise, it's still very cute. I think I do like this one better than our other leaf. I feel like the marbling and the contrast is a little better. But I think, so let me know what you think. Which ones? I'm like, will this come off? There we go. So we've got the maple leaf design, we've got pumpkins, we have our plain one, and we have the square. Actually, I'm really digging the square. I didn't know I would be, but let me know which one's your favorite. Maple leaves, pumpkins, or the square. Um, I think this is so fun. Again, you can change it up based on what your wax colors are. And I'm going to be having more, there are some kind of fallish tones in the shop right now, um, but they're not like rich tones. Anyway, so I'm really excited about that bead set that's coming with the fall collection because all the colors are like the exact deep, rich, dark colors you think of with fall. But I think they turned out so cute. I love the filigree stamp. Will that be coming back? Yes, that one is being restocked. So a couple weeks out and that will be here. When will we get a sneak peek of the lettering box? That's a good question. I have not been very good at showing the sneak peeks, but I want to do that more. So hopefully that's the subscriptions renew and it's open to new people on the 15th of September. So hopefully the week prior to that, I can be able to share um, that. I'm still waiting for a few items that aren't here. I love using the non-stick spoons, less waste that way. Yes, I need to find mine. They have spoons, and I have some in my shop. They're just not in stock right now, but that are non-stick. So that's a great tip, Marilyn, that if you don't have one, you could try it. Pumpkin on the right, this one. Love them all. Leaves, pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins for me. Hello from Switzerland. Hello. The square one. I like the square one too. Came in late. Are these 3 stamps available for purchase now? So I believe the square is and the maple leaf I know is. The pumpkin is not available, but it will be restocked in a part of the fall collection that's coming in a couple weeks. So you can keep your eyes open for those. There will be the new beads and then a bunch of stamps. And then there's going to be a Halloween collection. And then we're going full holiday mode after that. So it's going to be really fun. The next few months, I feel like, are really fun months for wax stills, especially with all the holidays coming up. It's like, and then it goes into Valentine's. It's like the time of year when wax stills really shine, and there's just so many fun ways to use them. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you guys want to get a text reminder for future lives, I always forget to say this at the beginning, but you can text this number, the word live, to this phone number, and then I send out a text a few minutes before I start. So then you are going to know ahead of time. And the other thing is, if you have any ideas of techniques or stills that you want to see made, let me know. Because I would love to do, if you guys have questions or ideas or things you want to see, I would love to do that on some of these lives. Yeah, so I'm excited for fall things to come. I'm trying to do all fall stuff going forward now. I'm trying to move out of my summer mode, even though it's boiling hot here. So let me know if you guys have any questions. You can watch the replay. It'll be on my YouTube and my Facebook, so you can check it out. And I'll plan on seeing you guys next Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for our next Wax So Live. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next time.